Bonjour à tous, je suis Sarah Benatar de l'agence ISPA et aujourd'hui j'ai le plaisir de vous parler du programme de Dual Diploma que nous proposons avec l'Académie Educatus. Qu'est-ce que le Dual Diploma? Eh bien, tout simplement, c'est un double diplôme que vous allez pouvoir obtenir à la fin de votre lycée en France. Pour tous les élèves qui auront fait une année ou un semestre d'échange dans un pays anglophone, donc c'est-à-dire les États-Unis, le Canada, l'Angleterre, l'Irlande, l'Australie et la Nouvelle-Zélande, vous allez avoir la possibilité de faire vos cours en ligne à votre retour en France, des cours du cursus américain, et d'obtenir donc votre bac américain, le diplôme officiel et reconnu que vous pourrez joindre à votre dossier scolaire, à votre CV et dont vous pourrez parler bien sûr pendant vos entretiens. C'est vraiment une valeur ajoutée et ça va vous permettre de maintenir votre niveau d'anglais. Ça va aussi vous permettre de continuer à interagir avec des professeurs en anglais et bien sûr de travailler des matières un petit peu différentes de celles qui vous sont proposées dans le cursus français. Et aujourd'hui, on a la chance d'avoir Caroline de Educatus, qui est la directrice du double diplôme, du dual diploma. Elle est là avec nous en live depuis la Californie et elle va vous présenter le programme. On va vous mettre des sous-titres pour la suite qui va être en anglais. Caroline.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me today. And I'm so excited to know that everyone is interested in the dual diploma. I am going to share my screen now and we can get started with the presentation. So here we are. I'm going to talk today about the USA High School Dual Diploma. And you might be wondering, what is a dual diploma? So a dual diploma is when a student actually is going to get two diplomas, one from their high school in France and another one from high school in the USA. And the advantages to this is that in addition to their graduation in France and everything that they're doing there, they are able to go the extra mile and to show that they are doing something above and beyond what's happening at home, is they're actually getting a second diploma from the US. And you might wonder, why should students get a dual diploma? So it's interesting. This is a super fast growing program. We're seeing students around the world are trying to make themselves more competitive in university applications or even in job applications. And for example, in the US, a lot of students will take more difficult courses. They'll take what's called AP courses. They will do a lot of activities after school, such as jobs or activities, in order to boost their CV. This is a wonderful way to do that, especially for students that are interested and have experience in studying abroad. It's a great university pathway. And for students that have been abroad, it's a wonderful way to maintain your really strong English skills. We also ask our students, why did you decide to get a dual diploma? And what we hear from them is that it really helps them be competitive when they're applying to universities in their home country or universities abroad. Students want to go to, many of our students want to go to top schools. And this is going to help their entrance into top universities, graduate programs. It also really boosts the CV and it opens doors by having on their CV that they actually have a US high school diploma. So that experience overseas, J1 or an F1, an exchange experience, is a great way for students to differentiate themselves and to really stand out. Having a diploma really makes that official, to have this official paper that shows that not only did they go abroad, but they actually earned the diploma. So it really helps out. This is a flexible program. Students can start anytime. They can study on their own schedule. So what they like is they can, in a flexible way, add to their education. The courses are really interesting. So in addition to some of the required courses, students get to choose electives. And they might choose something that they're interested in. So that makes it fun for them. It also helps them prepare for university if they're interested in studying any of those subjects. Like I said, it helps them maintain their English skills. And then in addition to that, the fact that they're studying on a computer, they're studying on their own, they get a lot of support from the teacher, and they also get a lot of support from tutors and advisors. But it also develops these skills of students being self-disciplined, and it shows that they are driven and hardworking. So here's a little bit about how it works. Students need 5 credits in order to earn the U.S. high school diploma. And the credit is the same thing as a course. So a course is, one academic year starting in September, finishing up in June. That is what one academic course would be, and that would be the equivalent of a credit. So for students that study abroad, we can actually take 2 credits from their exchange program, and then they take 3 credits online, and that adds up to 5, obviously. And so that is going to give them the USA high school diploma. And of the 5 credits, they have some that are required. So US history is required. That's required for all American students. So for the American diploma, even international students need to take US history. They need to take government and politics, economics, and then a career education course, which helps them set up their future career. If they take any of these courses when they are in the US on an exchange or in another country, they can actually transfer those credits. So if a student takes US history when they're in the US, then they will earn that credit from the US. So that means that they are going to be able to focus more on taking the electives when they're studying online. Students can start the program before their exchange. It's a good way to prepare for your exchange, or they can study afterwards. The online program for this, the online school or academy, is Ed Options Academy, and it is a fully accredited school. So a lot of times parents ask me, will the diploma be recognized in the US universities or even outside the US at other countries? And the answer to that is yes, of course. It is like any other school. It's recognized by Cognia and recognized by universities at home in the US and then also abroad. The courses are all semester long. So if a student is taking US history, they probably need to take US history A and B, which would be 2 semesters. But if they're taking electives, they can take semester electives. And there's some really interesting courses like animation or computer science or coding or marine biology, some art courses. So students can really choose something that's fun and interesting to them. They're not going to take the same courses that they're taking at home in France. They're already taking those. They're not going to take those again. They're going to take new, interesting courses that they are interested in. And teachers are all certified to teach, particularly online. So the teachers really know how to support students that are online. And they offer office hours, and students can email the teachers. This is a little bit of an example of some of the interesting courses students can take. Like I was saying, coding, application development, maybe they want to develop an app, biotechnology, international business. So you can see it's quite a broad mix of courses that students can take. And we have over 100 courses they can choose from. So this is just a really small sample, but it gives you an idea of the variety of courses. How do they study online? So the program is asynchronous. They can go online whenever it's convenient for them, on the weekends, after school, in the evenings. The courses online are really interesting. So it's a combination of videos, some teachers giving lectures, some kind of quizzes and texts. For the assignment, students will have to, maybe they'll do a quiz online, or they might have their midterm exam online. Some of the courses will have writing assignments. Students will write an essay, and then they will upload that to the teacher and to the program. There are a lot of learning support tools that are available to the students, like a dictionary if they need that, or you can press a button and have the text be written out loud. So for students that need a little bit of extra help, that is there for them. The courses, like I was saying, are semester long. So they're 18 weeks long, and that's a half of a credit. Here are a bit of the details. As I said before, it's flexible. They can start anytime. They can complete the program in 1 to 4 years. So you could have a student that does, before they go on exchange, they might want to do 2 courses before they go to prepare. And then they go on exchange, and maybe they do 1 course when they come back home. So they can spread it out. They don't have to do all 3 courses at once. We know that they are studying a lot at home in France. So they may not want to study their senior year. So they might want to study ahead of time, maybe even take 1 course while they're on exchange if they have the time to do that. We do find a lot of times students want to complete the program before their final year in France because it opens up their schedule for the final year. But again, it's totally flexible. They can do it however they want to. There's no language test required. We know that the students are either going on exchange and they're already being tested for that, or they've already been and coming back, so they do not need an English test. The application is super easy. It's just basically a form that they need to complete. We talk to students and talk with them about what courses they might want to take, what's going to be a good fit for them, what type of schedule they want to take, and then we'll look at their transcripts at home in France, as well as their transcripts from their exchange in order to put together the program for them. And as for the grades, they need to keep a C average, which is about a 70% in their classes at home and their classes on exchange in order for that to transfer into the program. We also have another option. So that was the Ed Options program that I was talking about, which is a virtual school. We also have another option, which is a boarding school program. It's online. It's still an online program, but this online program is developed and put together by Wayland Academy in the US. This is a good option for students that want to maybe go to university in America. The Ed Options program, again, fully accredited. It's less expensive. They've got loads of courses. The Wayland program is a little bit less flexible, but it is provided through a prestigious US high school. So that is another option. If students are interested in going to university in the US, it's worth exploring that option. And we really want all of these students to be successful. You know, our role here is to support the students and make sure that they complete the program, and they not only complete it, but that they do well in all their courses and they enjoy it. We want to make sure they enjoy this. So we will do a counseling session. We can do a Zoom together with students and parents to put together a study plan for students, help them choose the subjects that they really like the most. We have tools built into the system. The teachers, as I said, they can email teachers, they can set up student-teacher conferences. And in addition to all of that, we have a counselor who monitors the student performance. So, and parents can actually do this too. Parents can observe student performance. They can't see the students' actual work, but they can see how their progress is. So students don't need to be worried that, oh, my parents are reading my paper. They can't do that. But what they can do, if the parents want to, is they can actually see what the grades are like, and they can see what kind of progress the student is doing. And our observer does that as well. If she notices that a student is falling behind, she might call them up and say, oh, I see that you haven't been online in the past 2 weeks. Is everything okay? And the student might say, oh my gosh, I'm so busy, or I've been on vacation at the beach, and I really didn't want to study online. And she'll say, that is totally fine. That's great. I just want to make sure that you haven't forgotten about things, and make sure to get back on the program, and I'll keep an eye on you. So we support the students. They can move through the program at their own pace, but we don't want them to fall too far behind, because we don't want anybody waking up, the day before the program ends and realizing that they have a lot of work to catch up on. And this is a story that we have. This is another video that we can send to you separately. I think is going to be best. But this is a student who's actually from France. She did a J1 program in Michigan, I believe, and she did the program online. She tells a little bit about her experience here. So what are the next steps? The next steps are we can set up a counseling meeting, either together with me or with one of my colleagues, to talk to students, talk to parents, a little bit more about the program, and also to talk about what courses students might want to take and answer questions. And of course, you know, ISPA can also always help. They know everything about this program, so they can certainly help you as well with questions. For the meetings and for kind of the next step after that, we would want to look at students' transcripts. The transcript in France is fine, but we really also need to see the transcript that students get from their exchange. And that is, you know, their grades. So if they haven't gone on exchange yet, then we obviously won't have that. But if they've already gone on exchange and they can show us what courses they've taken and what grades they've gotten in the course, then that's really helpful. And during the meeting, we will talk about putting together an academic plan, how long the students want to study for, if they want to do it over a year or 2 years, the courses, and then give a little bit of information about the enrollment. And for the tuition program for the course, the tuition is about $4,500 US for the whole program, and the enrollment fee is US dollars $300. So that wraps it up. I think that we've covered most everything. I'm sure there'll be loads of questions, and we are here for that. And so is Sarah and all of her colleagues at ISPA. And I'm not sure if she wants to add anything else here or not.
Yes, thank you very much, Caroline. Merci à tous voilà, d'avoir suivi cette présentation. N'hésitez pas à nous poser vos questions. Je vous rappelle mon email, c'est sarah@ispa.fr. On va vous guider voilà, pour toutes vos questions et pour, voilà, pour votre cas particulier si vous avez des questions. À très bientôt. Merci à tous. Au revoir.
Thank you.
Bonjour à nouveau. Donc, nous avons souhaité faire une partie de questions-réponses parce qu'on sait que vous avez certainement beaucoup de questions à nous poser. Et voilà un petit résumé des questions qu'on nous pose le plus souvent. Donc, tout d'abord, on me demande souvent le prix de $4 500 plus $300 de frais d'inscription. Est-ce que c'est par année? Comment on paye? Alors, en fait, c'est un prix global qui est le même, peu importe la durée de votre programme, puisque vous aurez toujours le même nombre de crédits. Donc, tout le monde va payer la même chose et vous avez la possibilité de payer soit en une seule fois, si vous souhaitez, soit par année. Donc, selon le nombre d'années qui va vous rester à suivre à votre retour en France, vous allez pouvoir diviser cette somme de 4500 plus 300 par le nombre d'années que vous allez suivre le dual diploma et payer voilà, par année. Donc ça, c'est une première question qu'on nous pose souvent. Et une deuxième question également que l'on pose souvent. Caroline, maybe you can help us. Can you talk to us about the half credits? How does it work? Because sometimes students don't really understand that part.
I know, it definitely gets a little bit confusing with the credit. So one credit is usually a full academic year course, right? So that's usually one credit. So a half credit is really what you could consider a semester course. So that would mean that you would take a course for a semester. So, you know, you could take a course like journalism for one semester for 18 weeks. And then that would give you a half a credit. And then you could take a course like marine biology for another half a credit, another semester. And then you could put those together and then you get a full credit. So what I love about the half credits and the semester program is it gives students opportunity to have a more variety of classes, right? So you're not just taking U.S. history for the whole time or English, but you're able to take like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So it gives students a chance to explore different subjects and find out what they're interested in.
Okay, thank you, Caroline. And another question we often get is how how will it happen later? How do I apply to university? Can you help us with this?
Yes, certainly. So in the US, the universities, there are about 3,000 universities in the US, universities and colleges. So what I love about that is that there's something for everyone. You know, we get students that say, oh, I want to go to Harvard or Stanford because those are the schools that they have heard of. But there's so many wonderful schools. And we actually have a college advisement program where we can assist students that want to go to university in the US. And the way it works is we actually can set you up with a counselor, with a college counselor that you would meet with and talk about what are your interests? Where do you want to go to school? What some students know, I want to go to this school in Florida. And many students have no idea, right? The US is a big country and they're not sure where they want to go. Our counselor will meet with students and find out what's their academic level. What do they want to study? You know, maybe they want to study psychology. What type of environment do they want to be in? Do they want to be in a big city or a small city? Do they hate the cold weather and want to be in Texas? And we'll find out all of those details. And then we will find a handful of schools that are a good match for the student. And we can actually assist them with the application. The university applications in the US can be kind of complicated. And even I have two daughters that went to college in the US, and I had a college counselor for my two girls. I work with students and students in colleges and universities, and I still had a college counselor for them because you really need the guidance. So our counselor can help guide students to apply to university. And when they apply, they would show their grades from schools in France and also their grades and transcripts from school in the US and also for the online program for the dual diploma. So they would submit all of that when they apply for university in the US. And together with that, the universities also look at other things like what students have done outside of school, you know, to show what their interests are and their passions are. Did they do any sports? Do they play any musical instruments? Did they volunteer? Do they have a job? The universities are going to want to see a lot of that to find out what the student is like and how that student would be on their campus. But having an extra academic program like a dual diploma is definitely going to help their application so that they can get into, you know, have more choices and options for the schools that they might want to go to.
Thank you, Caroline. And I will finish with one question that we often get. I will do it in French. On me demande alors la suite, quand est-ce que je peux m'inscrire et quand est-ce que je peux commencer surtout. Donc, c'est un programme asynchrone, comme disait Caroline tout à l'heure. Ça veut dire que vous pouvez commencer à n'importe quel moment. Hein, donc ça, c'est important de le savoir. Également, on ne l'a peut-être pas dit, je crois, vous avez la possibilité d'étudier pendant l'été. L'académie ne ferme pas pendant l'été, les professeurs sont disponibles. Donc ça vous permet d'avancer. On a même des jeunes qui valident un demi-crédit déjà pendant leur été pour avoir plus de temps ensuite, par la suite, pendant leur année, dès que l'année scolaire recommence en France. Et donc, l'idéal, c'est d'abord de réserver une séance avec Caroline ou un de ses collègues pour bien faire un point sur votre situation, les matières que l'on va pouvoir transférer pour vous et les matières que vous voulez prendre pendant le dual diploma. Et une fois que vous avez fait cette session, on va juste vous demander de remplir une fiche d'inscription. On va vous demander vos bulletins de notes en France, donc toutes les années de lycée, plus votre bulletin de notes ou vos bulletins de notes de votre séjour en high school aux USA, au Canada, en Irlande, en Angleterre ou en Océanie. Et avec ça, on va pouvoir faire votre emploi du temps. Vous aurez une petite orientation en ligne pour vous habituer au début à tous ces nouveaux outils. Et après, vous serez libre de travailler quand vous voulez, quand vous avez le temps. Voilà, je crois qu'on a fait le tour. On reste bien sûr disponible avec Caroline pour toutes vos questions. Et n'hésitez pas à nous écrire ou à nous joindre. À bientôt. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.